Everybody, welcome to the Paradigm Shift. Good evening. How's everybody doing in the lockdown weekend? Today we are going to be in conversation with Anubha Sharma. She's the CEO founder of Angel Express Angel Express Foundation. She's here. Hi Sapna. Hi Kaushal. I'm just letting her join in with us.
Hi,
Hi Anubha, good evening. How are you?
good evening. I'm very well.
So before we begin, let me just read a little bit about you. Uh, I'm sure everybody calls you Angel instead of Anubha.
Not too many people do. They may call me the devil.
Really? I think you probably need to be a devil to get things done, right?
Always.
Okay, just a quick intro. Anubha Sharma, founder CEO of Angel Express Foundation. As a CEO of AXF, Anubha is the heart of the organizational development and growth as much as she is mindful of the tiniest details of operations. With a highly analytical and a reflective mind and a resolute passion for social change, Anubha is innovative, daring, and determined to grow AXF in several ways. Anubha was a senior financial service professional leading teams at national levels when she decided to shift with a paradigm shift from the corporate to the social sector in a bid to pursue her heart's calling. Anubha credits her wholesome upbringing for fueling the spirit of social work and giving wings to her purpose, Angel Express Foundation. So sweet. This is such a pleasure to have you on board here. We've heard.
Thanks for being there. And I love people like you who like telling stories and who like spreading the word because it helps us reach out to more and more people. And that's what is our fuel. More and more people who want to volunteer and who want to give.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, that is what we're trying to do here. So, Anubha, we've just done a little bit of your intro. So let's hear it. What was your childhood like? You said your wholesome upbringing, kind of fueled this. So, what was it like in the childhood?
So, very, very ordinary childhood. Like,
Okay.
I think our lane had a precise sum of one car. There was space for us to play. Whereas, if you look at that same lane we grew up in, it's jam packed with cars, and there is no space for kids in that building to play anymore.
Right.
We used to be able to play cricket on the road on Sundays. Not that I was very much the playing kind. If I ever ask any of my childhood, if I ask my sister or my cousins, what was I doing? What do you remember me as doing in childhood? They will all say you were sitting in one corner reading a book. So, anything, any moment, I was doing this, but you were sitting in a corner reading a book. I was doing that, you were sitting in a corner reading a book. So that's what my childhood was like. So I loved books. I loved reading. And I think I bought myself up more by reading than by anything else. And books used to be quite inspirational those days, and we used to, as a teenager, you take so much inspiration from what you're reading.
Right.
And what you're seeing in people around you, and people used to talk simple upbringing, simple lifestyle, don't overspend. So those
Correct.
values stay with you, where you don't want to have excesses. Till date I find it hard to understand a very, very lavish lifestyle. I'm a
Yes.
very, very sort of minimalistic living kind of a person,
Right.
which is how whatever happened eventually. So very simple childhood, good values. You see people around you doing good stuff, thinking good ways, reading good stories, and that's how you grew up thinking that okay, this is how you ought to help people. You read
Right.
stories about people who are doing things to help others. You're reading all those inspirational stories, and you want to be like that. And that's where
So
uh,
beautiful.
the the inspiration to me also came by reading about people who were helping others. There's a story
Right.
I like to tell of this French gentleman who adopted 5 children off the streets, and I mean, to me, it was unbelievable that somebody could do something like that. You know, as a child, to think that you could be somebody on the street and then you could get the security of a home and somebody to care for you. That story really left a very deep impression in my heart that, you know, somebody can actually, if you're a child in distress, somebody can actually reach out and help you. And what a huge difference it can make in your life. So that I think has been the biggest influencer for me.
So beautiful. That is so sweet. So tell us about your paradigm shift, your big shift. Like you've been, at national levels and with all the major, companies, Religare and all the kinds, and then you just take a sabbatical. So tell us about that.
Well, 20 years in corporate life can be tough. You ask anybody who's been there that long. It can be a tough thing, and there was a moment in time when I started to envy my friends who weren't working, who were going out for movies in the afternoon and lunches and things like that. So I used to actually think that when will I ever get to do this? I used to find myself wishing I wish I'd gotten married and had kids. Maybe at least I'll have an excuse to give up my job. Abhi to main naukri chhodungi bhi to karu. Yeah, so I struggled with that for a while, but then I finally decided I'm not enjoying this anymore. Things weren't great. So let me just take a break. So I took a year off. A lot of my friends and I had a spiritual teacher at that time, and everybody, sort of got together to say that, yeah, do what you want to do. Why
Right.
you sort of not doing it? So I decided to take that sort of jump. And then I said, okay, let me enjoy this time and let me figure out what it is that I want to do in life, and let me try this and let me try that. So everything that I'd ever wanted to do or thought I will do, I did. And that included volunteering. And I used to go on a daily walk in there, and I used to see.
I think we're stuck.
Yeah.
I think we lost you for a second. Please repeat that line.
So volunteering actually happened to me by accident. I used to go for a morning walk on the Carter Road Promenade, and I used to see kids sitting there and some senior citizens teaching them. So I actually went the intent of offering breakfast to those kids. I said, okay, I'm sitting at home. Let me at least cook some breakfast for these children. And it was very clear that they were from poor homes. Right. So this uncle told me that, a lot of people give stuff and give food. Why don't you teach instead? We don't have enough volunteers. So I never thought, so I wasn't sure how it will, turn out. So I said, I'll try. I don't know. I can't promise if I'll do it for a while. And but anyway, I started enjoying myself. The kids were very entertaining. Like, subah 7 baje aapka dimag khane ke liye, like,
so good.
But it was fun. My day started feeling better. My day started feeling very good. And I used to enjoy going there. And but then I realized during my interaction with them that they knew nothing, next to nothing. Class 6, 7 ke bacche ko kuch nahi aata. They are they can't do math, they can't do English, and they were very keen to learn. And I used to hate math, and they would say, Miss, aaj English padhana nahi chahiye, aaj maths padhao. And I would say, like, oh yaar, math kisi aur se seekh lena.
I hate maths too. Okay.
And then one day, what happened was these kids, like one child says that, Miss, meko bahut thand lag rahi hai, main beech mein baith jaungi. And I was like, I looked around and I saw it's like chilly. Jan does get a bit chilly, especially on the seaside and all. And half the kids were wearing jackets and half of them were wearing torn t-shirts. And it suddenly struck me, there must be so many of my friends who must have clothes. So I started reaching out to my friends and I put it up on social media. And that was the trigger moment, where everything, it was like, the next day I went into my car and I picked up my phone and there were 22 missed calls. And I was like, who the hell is trying to call me? So, and then the phone didn't stop ringing for the next 10 days. There were people calling me from all over the world. China से, Africa से, UK से, US से, फोन आ गया कि मैं तुमको कपड़े कैसे भेजूं.
So beautiful that is.
I know it was actually it was a moment. It was a defining moment. It kind of made me realize that something was happening that was not ordinary.
Right.
And then you feel almost compelled to think about why is something like this happening. Right. And at that time I was into this spiritualism. So a lot of my friends would be saying that, "Arey, ye to universal se sign mil raha hai tere ko. How can you not think about it?"
Right.
So all that kind of push happened. And of course, it was 1 year almost over of my sabbatical, but the markets crashed and nobody's going to give a national head kind of a role to anybody with a crashed market. So I said, "Acha, 6 mahine to kuch nahi hone wala. So let me start an experiment." And there was this lady called Beena Advani who had also got in touch with me, and she had said that, "Can you start a project like this in my school?" She was running a preschool, and she said that there's no space. I mean, we're not using the space after 6 o'clock. So why don't we, use the space for some good work? And I said, that was a beautiful thought. I said, okay, let's start. But then what happened was she had some issues with the landlord. And while we were talking, she had to actually shut her school down because of issues. But that was part of our partnership, because she said, okay, let's try and do something. I don't want to immediately get into something else. And वही discussion में then we went to, I used to live on Mount Mary Pele. She also coincidentally had a flat in the same building, though we never met, while I was living there.
Oh, wow.
And so I said, okay, let's go there. We went there and we talked to the committee, BBRT committee over there. And they gave us space because they were trying to make peace with the slum dwellers over there. बहुत झगड़े होते थे between the slum dwellers and the committee over there. So
Right.
they did, if we do something for their kids, maybe there'll be peace. And now they tell us that it's the most successful experiment we could have tried. We are so glad we gave you the space, because the children who used to destroy the property on the promenade, the fights that they use, everything has gone down. The kids are behaving themselves. They are well dressed, well turned out. They don't look like or behave like ruffians as it used to be earlier. And
Okay.
they're respectful, and they generally they understand the importance of preserving public property. Their parents are also kind of happy that they are being looked after, and in a variety of ways. So there that haves and have-nots ke beech mein jo tension hota hai na, that tension has gone down considerably, and there is a community feeling there. So which is the good part, and that has been our intent. There is such a huge divide between the various economic classes. There are too many people who don't have anything, and there are just a few people with too much. And India's middle class is growing, and there are people who are also keen to give back, who have the time to give back.
Right.
Like I did a dipstick survey at that time with a few schools, and what I discovered that almost 60% of ladies give up their jobs after, and they were stay-at-home moms, children going to affluent schools. So all these well-educated ladies who've chosen to take time out, I thought, maybe they will want to do something beyond their homes. How not everybody is into, sort of only entertainment, only kitty parties, only shopping, or only their kids. Some people may want to also step out of their homes and do something. And if you created a community project which was their own and which was in their neighborhood, they could walk to do something, maybe they will do it. So that we kind of started our bandstand project as a social experiment, saying that let's try if it works.
Wow.
And we started with 18 children. In 4 months, we were at 80 children. There were so many volunteers. There were the wives of the trustees and, ladies who were living in the neighborhood. We didn't need to teach after a few months. And, so it just kind of, and it grew after that. We said, okay, let's try one more. We have to figure out whether this is really working in every neighborhood. So we set up something in Santa Cruz. That also worked beautifully. And then we started getting incoming calls. Somebody saying that, okay, why do I have to come all the way from Juhu to here? Why can't we have something in Juhu? And then something in Juhu. So I said, bring all your friends together, call me over, invite them for tea. And that is my standard.
So good.
Whoever wants to do this invites 10 of your friends for tea and invite me. I will come and make a presentation. I will tell them how it's going to happen, how we can help.
You're coming here soon.
चाय रूम पे पीनी पड़ेगी मेरे को अपने घर में तुमको तुम्हारे घर में.
Correct. Huh.
Yeah. So but that's how it happens. It's just been so simple and it's been so smooth. So mostly initially it was stay-at-home moms who were coming together to start these programs where they were saying that, okay, we want to do something. My mind is atrophying. I want to do something constructive with my time. There were ladies who later on said that, my in-laws are looking at me with more respect. My own child is looking at me with more respect. Now that I've gotten involved and I'm doing something for the community. There were people who said that, oh, it's so lovely to have made friends with like-minded people. People start going out for, tea parties and coffee dates and movies, and there are Valentine parties happening between the volunteers. It becomes like a beautiful community that comes together, and they're doing some great work. The kids are very happy, the parents are very happy, and these volunteers are having a ball at the same time.
Beautiful. That is so good. And it is such a sustainable model that, there are people with time, like you said, and this. So tell us exactly what Angel Express Foundation does. What does it do?
We started off, we didn't really have much of a plan. We just said, okay, let's do this. And then gradually we figured out that, the kids are at different levels. You have to test them. You have to divide them into ability groups. So grade wise bithane se kaam nahi chalta hai, because one class 4 child is at grade 1 level, the other one is at grade 3 level. So you have to basically take them up into ability groups. So we said ki program kya karna hai. First we started doing school subject, then we realized that no, it has to be something basic that the child can grasp, because it's only a 1 hour program, it's an after school program. And for me, the ability to be able to read, write and speak English is very important in an urban setting, because that gives you better job opportunities and better opportunities to get a better pay. Also, besides that, only till class 10 are schools in vernacular medium. Beyond that, the kids have to go to English books. Okay. So if you are teaching the kid in a Hindi or a Marathi school till grade 10, and then suddenly you trust English upon him, the child is not going to be able to cope, even if he is academically inclined and he has the capacity to build a professional career for himself or herself. So we said, okay, we will focus on English and we will focus on math, because math helps you create logic, think logically.
Yes.
So that's what we looked at. Then later on, we introduced life skills. At first, we were only working with kids up to grade 8. Now, gradually, we have introduced 9th and 10th subject coaching so that kids start doing better in their board exams. Last year, we introduced 11th and 12th under our youth engagement program, where we do various things like vocational and career guidance. We do job readiness programs. We do soft skills. We do spoken English, digital literacy for students from grade 11 up to senior college also. Wow. And the idea is to handhold these kids till they get employed and build a strong alumni network so that these kids can help each other. The kids who've been in the system for many years can help each other. It's a sustainable program because you are hand-holding the child from the age of 6 to 10 right up to 18, 19 years, till he's 18, 19 years. So he gets to learn a lot because he's seen educated people around him. He has positive role models. He's seeing how communities behave positively. So, for example, you see so much bad behavior, like I said, ruffian-like behavior. I don't believe any of our children would behave like that because they've seen care. They've seen how society can care for each other. So they understand that. They participate wholeheartedly in Daan Utsav. Like Daan Utsav, you think that it's about you giving, but our kids will make sandwiches and distribute to community workers. They will go to orphanages and they will play. And, they do a variety of things. So it makes them feel good that they are also able to give back. They can do something. So the children are developing these feelings of being part of community where they want to do something for others. The child will say, okay, I will do all the housework today for my mother. I will fill the water. I will do the cooking. That attitude of giving back comes within the children. Otherwise, there is so much kind of carelessness among children that age. Right. So we're nurturing children, we're mentoring them, and we are making sure they become good citizens and good people. And we believe that there is scope for this. Like we were working last year with 2,200 kids.
Wow, that's an impressive number. Wow.
I think this number can go to 2 million or something like that. We have 9 million people living in slums in Mumbai. Like with its population, 9 million people living in slums. So why can't we do more children? And there are slums and high rises everywhere in Mumbai. There are enough for educated people, especially retired people, students, educated ladies, for whom taking out 2 to 3 hours a day is not difficult. So all it needs to be done is for 15 people to come together in a neighborhood and say that, okay, we want to do a community project. There is a covered park, or there is a community hall, or there is a sports center where they are willing to give you space. We are operating inside an office building. The Rommel Group has given us the lobby of their office building for 2 hours a day to operate a center over there. And it's
So
a highly
cool.
secure building. Our kids have been given identity cards. So anything is possible. So just 15 ladies and retired people come together. They say we want to do a community service project, and then we handhold them. We train them for everything, whether it's teaching, whether it's managing the other volunteers. So a team of leaders emerges from among the volunteers only, and then we train them how to manage the center. And you know, it's 20 centers later, and there is a 50 plus strong team of volunteers who manage the entire program, and people love it. They love taking on additional responsibility. I was part of center's PTA yesterday. There was such positive feedback from everyone. The kids were happy, their moms were happy. They were so grateful that the schools were not doing anything last year. At least you guys have ensured that our kids continue some learning. Please give them more work. So the parents are very happy. And the volunteers are so encouraging and so gentle. Like, that is not enough. They need to do more. Like, telling the parents that you have to make sure that even during vacations, they don't give up completely and forget everything. You make sure they sit and study for an hour every day. Beautiful. And our volunteers gently try to get the parents to give a supportive atmosphere at home, because these houses can be very rough. It should be known while the child is studying. No beating. Like, there is domestic violence comes very easily. And we try to speak against that in a very positive way. And we try to ensure that, support is given to the children who are coming from homes which are difficult. In a variety of, like, parents are counseled, parents are spoken to regularly.
Okay.
We've had a case where there was a child who was abused by a neighbor, and we helped the family follow up with the police, etc., and get the kind of help that they need. So basically what happens is you try to support them through everything.
Yes.
Last year in March itself, we found out that many of our families had already started to struggle with incomes having gone down. Absolutely. The auto rickshaw drivers, vegetable sellers, small businesses on the road. And it had gone down for everyone. There were people already living on Mari biscuit and water. So our volunteers swung into action, and we managed to raise enough funds over the next few months to make sure that right up till August, ration was delivered to every family.
Beautiful.
And nobody went to bed hungry, and I cannot tell you, I mean, nobody was able to reach them the way we were able to reach them and support them. And they were so, the kind of sharings that we got was like, it was quite heartrending to hear their stories.
Yes.
What a difficult time they had.
I know, I'm sure. Priya here says you're doing an inspirational and a great job. Priya Yoga, Swaha Yoga. And Sapna, who thinks you're an awesome person. The minute she saw your promo, she's a school friend of mine, and she was like, oh my God, Anubha's interview, I'm going to be there. And she's also volunteering. So she says the best part is that you two are learning from the children while you're teaching them.
Priya also has taught yoga. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, this is the same Priya from the UK. Who's taught yoga at one of our centers.
Beautiful. That is so cool. When you're talking about the kids not acting as ruffians and all that, all those English movies that you've seen where, the teacher or the nanny or the caretaker comes and, turns everybody around from being a ruffian to that, all the Sound of Music and everything just started, going up in my head, and that was so, so beautiful. And, you're doing it consistently. And ek aur cheez, Anubha, what I'm thinking is like, when you're a teacher in school, true, you have a job, but against that, compared to that, when you're volunteering, I think you take upon yourself that yes, I will transform this person's life and it is my duty, and you're not getting anything in return and still you're doing it selflessly. I think that is so much more, and like you said, hand holding from the sixth standard onto senior college, that would be amazing. So tell me about digital learning, like you were saying, providing for the kids. So you guys also have computers and you guys teach computers and stuff?
So first I'm going to correct you. When you say that the volunteers are not getting anything bad is completely wrong, because the volunteers tell us that the love that they receive is more precious than anything else. The acknowledgement that they give the children, एक दिन नहीं जाओ तो अगले दिन बच्चे कूद के पढ़ते हैं कि दीदी आप कल क्यों नहीं आए थे, we miss, where were you, we missed you. That kind of acknowledgement you don't get from your own kids also.
Yeah, absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
I love that. And I think that is a driving force in every battle that a child wins is for them a victory for our volunteers. They feel so inspired, like इस बच्चे को scholarship मिल गई, इस बच्चे को के marks अच्छे आ गए. They feel absolutely inspired and they feel so proud of the fact that they are contributing towards the betterment of the neighborhood. So it's a huge satisfaction. There is more ways to get something back than money, and so this is absolutely something that the volunteers love doing. So what happens is, so one is that our classes have moved online. So we're using WhatsApp video calls, Zoom, WhatsApp groups to teach. Okay. And so out of the 2,200 kids, we've managed to activate about 1,400 children. We've actually gone and bought devices for a lot of kids. We've sponsored data packs for a lot of kids this year. Maybe again next year we'll be doing it, because we'd hope to be able to go back to our physical classes in the parks, but I don't think it's going to be possible for a few months as yet with the way things are going. So digital. So what we are doing with the youth engagement program is, there are a variety of things that a child will need once a child goes towards working. So digital literacy is basically being able to use Microsoft Word, even if it's on your phone.
Okay.
So, so your Microsoft Office ka sara things,
right?
How to start, how to open an email account, basically, then communication skills. So basic things that anybody would need. So, and we tie up with people like Vidya Alankar College and SNDT. Okay. So these, where the children are doing, their students who are doing masters in computer applications, etc., they come and teach our students. Right. So it's a one-on-one program. So everybody has fun also, and it's a good exchange. Then we've had a lot of corporate volunteers this year who wanted to work with our children. So what we did was we assigned one-on-one spoken English classes, because besides learning English as a subject, if you get somebody to engage in dialogue with you regularly, you will be picking it up much faster. So a lot of corporate volunteers have been engaging in spoken English classes with our children, besides the regular classes that they are doing to learn either English, math, or 9th upwards, learning their school subjects. So digital, besides this, a lot of corporates have engaged, including Reliance Foundation, have engaged in a series of workshops which are for job readiness, soft skills workshops. What is an office about, how must you present yourself, communication skills, how to get organized, prioritizing things. So a variety of things that a child needs to understand, which they won't learn from anybody around them. So all these corporate volunteers have been teaching these subjects to our children. And besides that, we've also had a lot of people who are in various careers, like people in banking, people in marketing, people who've done their CA. So what can a career in science be like? What are the opportunities available? What do you need to study? How do you need to go about figuring out a career plan? Those kind of things have happened this year. Besides that, we've also tied up with an organization called Antarang Foundation, which does a 100-hour career ready program to students 18 years and above. So once a student is about to finish class 12 or has finished class 12, we make sure that they go through the career ready program, where their aptitude is tested. Then they are taken through career opportunities, and they're also given opportunities to find internship if they want to join that.
Very good.
So ensuring that the kids have enough exposure, and there are linkages to vocational institutions for children who are not academically inclined. For some children, it's a waste of time. You can see that their education is, for them, probably a vocational education may make more sense than just doing a BSc or a BCom, which may not lead them anywhere else.
Right.
So a lot of students have gone for vocational opportunities also, and we provide those linkages so that they can figure out. So basically ensuring that the child finds sustainable livelihood and finds better security than the, without any help they would be able to find.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That is amazing. So after this, we are going to talk about how we're going to start this one in Goregaon West. And if you have, do you have one in Goregaon?
No, we have two in Goregaon East, but none in Goregaon West.
Okay, chalo, let's begin. Let's do that. I'll get on the call with you right after. So tell us, this is like the most important thing for a lot of us who actually don't get out and do things. That is challenges and obstacles. What are the challenges and obstacles that you face? Because like I was talking to this gentleman who came before you on Wednesday, and he does this, what apne jo bola, sustainable this, because alumni, the people who passed out from you only go and teach these soft skills and all. He's in Bangalore, Mr. Venkat. So I'm thinking that, oh, there is a slum here which is close by, but like if I go in there, like how the Bollywood movies tell you, the local goons and the NGOs that are already there, they're going to probably like, who is this and who? So what he told me was, half of your fears are all internal. They're not even external. I'm sure when you go there and start doing good, people are going to welcome you with open arms. So I think you are my answer. You're my guardian angel.
So you don't need to really go into slums. What you can do is we'll give you the content for pamphlets. You can print pamphlets and give it to your maids and drivers and house help who live in the nearby slums. Yeah. You can go to a nearby municipal school. Right now the schools are shut, so you can't do. Otherwise, we generally distribute pamphlets within the schools, or if the principal somehow won't invite you, let you come in and do it, then you can distribute outside the schools also. So municipal schools and schools catering to the poor. One or two schools, and that's enough. Then after that, बच्चे आ जाते registration के लिए. Then you tell them, and pamphlet you print कि हाँ ठीक है, such days and such time you come for registration, and this is a number you can call. So everything falls in place very, very easily. It's very simple. And first 1 week बच्चों को थोड़ा सा झांसा देना पड़ता है. You make them do fun activities, no पढ़ाई for the first.
Correct.
So you give them you give them gifts and little snacks. So we make sure that there is a snack every single day for the kids. This year, because we could not distribute snacks, what we've done is we've distributed monthly ration kits and then nutrition kits later, to make sure that the families continue to remain supportive. And because this has been a difficult year for most kids, and these kids are all kind of बहुत tiny होते हैं, impoverished looking. So thoda sa, protein kind of fruits that we kind of like to give them at least while they are coming to us to study.
Right.
So those little things, and then we make sure that saal mein, 3-4 बार उनको बाहर जाने को मिले. They are taken for movies. We get a lot of opportunities to the kids out, amusement parks, museum visits. So both educational, because these kids don't get to go out too much. They don't get to see too much of the world. So it's good for them to be able to see and to see how people behave. Because they may not know how to behave, but they observe how the volunteers are behaving. They observe how others are behaving. So they learn how to conduct themselves, and they also get to see things they may not otherwise get to see themselves.
Correct.
And so but this is linked to attendance. If your attendance is poor, you don't get to have any masti. You don't get to go out for those programs. So everything has a pro and con. So it's fun. So we ensure that the volunteers are trained and are shared. All these insights are shared with them so that they know how to kind of conduct their classes, how to treat children, how to figure things out. So as far as obstacles are concerned, obstacles are a natural part of everything. Some things will fall in place. With this, the experience of what Peace 20 Center tells me is that once you start something now, things will fall in place. मतलब कि वर्सोवा में हमारा जो पहला गार्डन हमने सिलेक्ट किया था उसमें दरवाजे बंद कर दिए कम्युनिटी वालों ने, बोलने के कि हमको स्लम चिल्ड्रन नहीं चाहिए अंदर आने के लिए. So first day when only ladies went, they saw 15 ladies sitting. They came to ask us whether we can bring you tea, whether we can organize something for you. The moment they found out that we wanted to teach slum children, they shut the garden. They wouldn't let us inside. So things like happened. So what happened? We just went around the place. We found another garden that had an even bigger shade and it was closer for the kids. So actually it worked out for the best. So even if some obstacle comes up, it very soon sorts itself out. Sooner or later. And what happens is the community comes together in so many ways. It's not just volunteers who teach. Right. It's also donors who want to give food for the kids. It's people who, somebody wants to buy umbrellas, somebody wants to buy raincoats for the kids, somebody wants to buy blankets during winters. So a whole community comes together and, you know, उसमें फिर influential लोग भी होते हैं who try and help you solve whatever difficulties you're coming with. So, yeah. And doing genuine work now, I believe everything just sorts itself out in the end. We've had issues with some BMC officials saying that garden में आप नहीं पढ़ा सकते. I said, boss, lady बैठी है, 4 बच्चे उसके साथ में बैठे हैं, पढ़ा रहे हैं, आप इसको आप क्या बोल सकते हो इसमें illegal है. I mean, like, you complain, पुलिस को बुला लो अगर हम लोग कुछ गलत कर रहे हैं तो, you know, we literally have had to do things like that and nothing has happened. Ultimately, you go to the local corporator or the local MLA or something and people really are helpful. They sort things out for you. When we initially started, I had to go to the income tax office to get our registration done. वो gentleman 2 मिनट देखा हमारी फोटोग्राफ्स देखी, फिर बोला हो गया आपका काम, जाओ आपका हो गया सर्टिफिकेशन. I said okay, very good. फिर मेरे को 10 दिन बाद फोन आता है कि मेरे को वापस जाना है. So for a minute I was like, why do I have to go back now? Now do, you know, will somebody ask me to do something which is not right? And I have not paid a single paisa bribe till now to anybody. I have been asked in various departments, but I have not paid. So I went back. So this gentleman calls me into his office. He's saying, आपने बोला था ना आपको बच्चों के लिए डेंटल कैंप कराना है, ये बैठे हैं ये लोग भी डेंटल कैंप वाले हैं, आप इनके साथ में टाई अप कर लो. Then another gentleman was sitting over there. He's saying, अरे इनको कुछ चेक वेक काट के दो ना. He made him sign a 10,000 rupees का चेक for me for dental camp. So imagine tax commissioner is jabardasti making somebody make a donation for us, making some dentist who's come for his own registration, he's making him do a free dental camp for us. So it's like some things just fall in place so beautifully. It's just amazing.
Right. That is so beautiful. So yeah, that gives a lot of our viewers an insight कि ठीक है, you know, challenges हैं, obstacles हैं, but still you could overcome them and, you know, get down to actually doing this. And this seems easy. This seems, you know, कि वो सब इतना बड़ा वो मोर्चा निकल के लेके नहीं जाना पड़ेगा. This is doable. It is sustainable.
Doable. Now we are planning to actually start digital centers in new communities. So what we are saying is just get your maids and ayers and उन सबके बच्चों को इकट्ठा करके आप ऑनलाइन शुरू कर दो क्लासेस. जब फिजिकल पॉसिबल होगा तब आसपास के बच्चे ले लेना. बट फॉर नाउ यू कैन स्टार्ट टीचिंग. स्पोकन इंग्लिश सिखा दो, मैथ सिखा दो बच्चों को. आदत तो पड़ेगी वॉलंटियर्स को कम्युनिकेट करने की. सो वी विल ट्राइंग टू गेट न्यू कम्युनिटीज, न्यू चिल्ड्रन इनटू आवर फोल्ड नाउ this year. The whole of last year went in only maintaining. Like in May, we were actually sort of thinking will we be able to do any work besides ration distribution this year? And then miraculously, somehow online classes started. Like we said, okay, let's try. Let's start sending voice notes on WhatsApp groups. बच्चों को group में डाल के voice notes भेजना शुरू करते हैं, worksheets भेजना शुरू करते हैं, response देखते हैं. And slowly, वो सब कुछ चालू हो गया.
Wow.
Everything. Bro, so great. And parents were literally begging कि कुछ काम दे दो हमारे बच्चों को, खाली बैठे हुए हैं 7 दिन.
That is so good. So Angel Express Foundation accepts donations, right? That is right. So I would ask everybody that is watching here, also spread the word around. Everybody that is watching us from Angel Express and Paradigm Shift, if you haven't made a donation, you can go to, we will be putting their website link in the bio once we post this video. And even if you click on Angel Express, what is Anubha's handle, Instagram handle, it's there. And if you go down to the donation, you could donate, you could volunteer. So please be generous and donate, because it is doing the society a better, you know, it's like you said, it's like in the movies, you know, that how it was so beautifully that you just transform the entire society around you, and it's such a happy place, you know, that's the happy picture in my head right now.
So my request is, more than anything else, start conversations about this. Whoever is watching this, my request is to talk to your friends, talk to your neighbors about doing this, so that we can spread this. We call it the Good Karma Express. So we can spread this across Mumbai and have 100 centers in the next 5 years, and have thousands and thousands and thousands of children getting support with
Right.
from the from adults in the neighborhood. And it's not just adults, a lot of students from schools also come work with us. They
Right.
do special projects under their caste, etc. Like we
Yeah.
have had kids from Cathedral, from American School, from Dhirubhai Ambani, from Oberoi International, and a lot of other schools. Billabong Malad, in fact, hosts an AXF center. The parent body actually runs the center. So
Wow.
yeah, and they have allowed it in the play area. So there are so many schools who have space like this, which can be utilized for 1 hour a day to do some great service. And the PTA members could be asked to take part in this. There's so many ways to spread this, and so just start conversations about this, because people realize that this economic divide needs to be bridged, and the best way to bridge it is with a human connect.
Correct.
Otherwise, वो कॉन्सेप्ट ही रह जाएगा कि हाँ वो मेरा मेड ड्राइवर है, वही रह जाएगा, वो इंसान नहीं बनेगा कभी आपके लिए. And once you start relating to them as children, then suddenly it's so much more relevant. Your concern grows, your relativity grows. Your kid, when he's going to grow up to become a decision maker in some large corporation, he will not take a decision thinking that job, let me cut the jobs, it doesn't matter, that is the best pay. He'll probably not think that way. He'll probably think in a better way to figure things out.
Absolutely, that is so good. So well said. So, Anubha, tell us what has the impact been in your life with Angel Express? Like you said, you gave up your 20 years of corporate world, and then you came into the social world. And what has the impact been? How do you feel? Where are you right now?
So it's thanks to my 20 years of corporate experience of starting new businesses from scratch that I've been able to build Angel Express into an organization with things in place, and a scalable plan. And we have a lot of corporate supporting us in their CSR, because things are in place as an organization. So I will not diss my experience, but there was a time for that, and there is a time for this. It's giving me a lot of pleasure doing this work. It's giving me a lot of satisfaction, because it's more meaningful than just making money.
Yeah.
It's you feel like you're doing something. Your life is meaningful, and you're doing something that makes a lot of sense. Because when I look at the world around me, a lot of things don't make any sense. And doing this being concerned for others, I think that is an important quality that each one of us needs to have that empathy within us. So I believe it's made me a better person. It's made me realize. So I'm sure I change every year, and I think I change for the better, because there are deeper realizations, there are deeper connections. There is better understanding of self. There is a better understanding of surroundings. None of us are perfect, but I think you move slowly towards becoming slightly a better human being than you used to be when you are looking at things from a different perspective. And doing this kind of work does give you a different perspective.
Yeah, you probably go to sleep in such a good way, I mean, I'm sure you feel so satisfied and, so fulfilled, so contented at the end of the day that, yes, forget the good karma or whatever. It's just that, you have bettered a few lives, and that feels probably so good. This is so inspiring.
See, beyond a point, your life takes over. So, there are good days and there are bad days like anybody else's life. But I'll say that on the whole, yes, it has made a very positive impact on my life.
Right. So good. So, so before we end this, I just want to say, everybody that is joining us from the Angel Express, please follow the paradigmshift.co. We cover stories like our angels sitting here, Anubha Sharma, who, give up everything that they're doing, make the paradigm shift in their lives, and they are working so inspiringly for everybody that is around them, and transforming societies and bettering all the little kids, and then hand holding them up to, till they get jobs and all that, which is so good. And they come back in the system and teach the kids. I think this is truly inspirational. And everybody that is joining us from the paradigm shift, please follow the Angel Express Foundation, donate generously, make conversations like Anubha said. So let's get things started and let's start doing things. And any last messages for the viewers, Anubha?
I wanted to say that I think Mumbai rocks. I think Mumbaikars are brilliant because we've tried in other places also. Like I'm presently in Kolkata and I'm trying over here. And in the past, we've spoken to people in Pune, we've spoken to people in Delhi, we've spoken to people in Bangalore, Hyderabad. It hasn't taken off anywhere else. And in Mumbai, we started 2 centers ourselves. And after that, it is basically the citizen intent which has pulled us into 20 spaces. It's brilliant the way people have taken this idea up, and the ladies who are running these centers are absolute rock stars. And we are so happy. I'm so happy to say that we have now finally quite a few men who are also part of the management team. Retired people who took up teaching and then got involved with the management also. So I think it's a brilliant thing for ladies of a neighborhood and for the retirement to pick up and to do something that is so invaluable for the community, to bring the standard of the neighborhood up. And the kind of spirit that the Mumbai people have shown is absolutely unparalleled. I really salute this city and its spirit.
Right, that is so beautiful. So when did you go to Calcutta? I thought you were a Bandra girl, and then when did you run off to Kolkata?
I was, but last year got very tough, living alone. Okay. So I decided to kind of wrap up my house in Bombay and shift with my parents here in Calcutta. So okay. I've been here since December. I kind of thought that I'll go back for a bit. Now I'll, but April, with the things being what they are, I had to cancel the plans.
Right.
So let's see when Bombay calls me again. For now, I'm running things from here.
Perfect. Absolutely. So I know a couple of lines in Bengali. So Ami tumake bhalobashi. And the other ones you don't want to. So thank you so much. It's been an honor to speak to you, and I am going to just save your name as Angel instead of Anubha now on my phone, because you're truly an angel. Sapna says enjoy your stay and take care. And I want to thank Jyotsna, because Jyotsna, we were doing something for another NGO. We were getting saris and stuff like that for some Kinnar community in New Bombay, and Jyotsna came and gave me her things, and she told me that she was volunteering for you, and I wanted to actually talk to her. She said, no, you must talk to Anubha Sharma. She's our founder, CEO, and she is a complete angel. In fact, I called her to be on the live. She's in a webinar, so she's going to see the recording. Thank you so much, Jyotsna. Thank you so much, Sapna. And thank you so much, Anubha. You've been a great inspiration, and we hope to do a lot of things together.
Thank you so much. I look forward to that center in Goregaon, and I'm so glad that we spoke.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.